Welcome to the colony, where we have three generations of nerdy guys talking about stuff.
Welcome back, guys. The colony here
Yeah.
and fun. How do we keep the sport fun? Whether it's in the design, going to events, trying new things. What do you guys think?
Uh, well, I mean, I'm gonna say like at the event, I mean, hitting the hotel and hitting the hot tubs and stuff is really like a really nice thing to look forward to for like that kind of gladiator feel. And that's kind of a special treat that's kind of sidelined to the combat robotics, but goes hand in hand because I might not be at the hotel doing that otherwise.
Yeah, I know at Moto, I think one of the funnest parts, in addition to the robots, was everyone we were all hungry, so we went to some hibachi restaurant right after, and it was a blast. Everyone was joking with everyone, and I think it was nice because we're all nerds and we like our robots, but I don't necessarily think we would have grabbed dinner together if it hadn't been for the sport kind of bringing us together. So it was fun because we were all very different minded, and outside of robots, we have a lot of different interests. But it was nice to be able to kind of get together with each other.
Yeah.
I had the fried rice, and I think it was the teriyaki chicken.
Yeah, I so Team Stamina is a very close-knit community. When we do events together, a good chunk of us will stay in the same hotel room, and there's nothing wilder than a Team Stamina hotel room. It is very funny, very fun. We have a great time. All legal and safe things, of course. But we have a lot of traditions of things that we do in the hotel room that we are sworn to secrecy about, that no one will ever learn about except for us. And it's just overall a really good time. The people that you surround yourself with in this community are um, just the best people you can possibly surround yourself with, I think, because no one's here for money, no one's here for glory. We're all just here to blow things up and have fun.
Absolutely. And it's kind of cool that we're all approaching what's fun through the different eyes of the generations because
Yeah.
um I wouldn't know what's fun for Mike and as I wouldn't know what's fun for Mitch. And so
Mhm.
it's kind of cool hearing what is fun for you guys.
Well,
For
one of
sure.
the things that like Alex from Pandas, him and I actually played a game of Magic together on the lunch break at somewhere
Masty.
at Mass D, and I hadn't played Magic in forever. You know,
And now if you had met Alex outside of combat, would you have thought, "Oh, hey, he looks like someone who plays Magic"?
no, well, he might have, but I don't think I would have approached him. I mean, there's a huge age difference and stuff like that. And we didn't find that out until like we were chatting on a VC one night, and it was like, really? Really? Yeah, bring your deck. Ah.
In what other communities would you have people starting a podcast together with each member having roughly a 15 to 20-year age gap?
I mean, I'm 36.
I'm
Yeah.
Mitch, you're
17.
17, so that's 19 years.
I hope I didn't get Mike's wrong.
I'm old. No, I'm like 55, you know.
Okay, yeah,
So,
so
so
50,
oh,
yeah.
hey, 19 years between me and Mike, and then 19 years between me and Mitch. So
Oh,
that
Interesting.
that
perfect.
is,
You know, so if any one of us leaves, that's going to be hell for casting.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, to get that sweet spot
Yeah,
happening.
the corporate colony team is going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, you know, I hate to report back to, territorial manager.
HR.
Yep. HR.
I mean, another way of keeping the sport fun, I'd say, is just trying different designs. Like I myself, I like to have one dedicated design, but then I'll have some secondary design that I wouldn't even imagine to be like something that I would focus on. Like making a shuffling undercutter, or just making something that doesn't belong, like hypothetical, throwing an ant weight weapon on a 3-pounder robot.
Yeah, well, that was a thing. I mean, it made for the rules and the wino and all that. But as I've iterated, and I mean, you guys have seen my 12-pound entry for the colony, and how it's kind of coming around full circle to where I want to be able to make my weapon be able to dig through robots. So a part of that fun is still because I've still haven't hit my final design, because I just haven't gotten there yet, with all the learning. So a part of, like, not getting burnout, and it's kind of hard because right now there's been a whole lot of personal life stuff going on, and finding the time and like reorganizing my schedule to do it so I don't fall behind, because it's so easy to fall behind on your work for combat robotics, because a week two goes by and then you're like, oh my God, I've got to order. you know so creating something that is stylized and functional, and hopefully a little unique, and just moreover functional for the way I drive. And I think going from the 3-pound up to the 12-pound, and going from brush to brushless, has kind of fired up the fire a little bit more, cranked it up a little bit. And that design going forward may be the base design for whatever weight class I'm in. So I've always been a creative person. So being able to create, I'm a horrible artist. I can't draw a good stick figure. So, and I'm like, drawing in CAD and stuff like that actually gives me the tools I need to take the images in my head and convert them into paper and then 3D objects. So I get a lot of satisfaction just out of the process, and it makes me break away from the rest of my real world, my real life problems in a way, and just get into my own little catting world, and everything's, well, hopefully cool when it hits the box.
Yeah.
I'll say one very fun aspect of robotics for me. In the past, I've run this thing, which is now on the shelf for a reason. I was trying so hard to be competitive and win, and oh, well, what wins? Four-wheel verts. Let me build a four-wheel vert. Recently, I kind of made the realization, hey, yeah, maybe this might be what gets me closest to a dumpster, but is it fun? Am I enjoying this? And the last event that I brought this to, I remember it just felt like I was fighting it, and it felt like I was fighting it and wasn't really excited about what would happen if I did well, because I didn't like the robot. So I've spent a little bit of time kind of thinking, what would I have fun doing? I've been designing that robot recently, and even in the design process, when I was designing Yakety, I was thinking, okay, this is what's going to work. This is what's going to, win. And recently, I was actually on a call with Corey and Mike. We were catting, and I remember thinking, I say recently, this was literally last night. I remember just thinking, wow, I'm having a good time. I'm struggling. It's hard. Trying to find solutions to problems, not easy, but this is fun. And for the first time in a fair bit of time, I was actually enjoying the design process and thinking about building a robot that maybe won't be the biggest dumpster earner, but is fun and it's what I actually want to run. And I think that's something a lot of people benefit from, is not running a robot that's just pure meta, and branching out, having some fun, experiment a bit, build what you want to build, not what's going to win.
I think that kind of segues into a good topic. At what point does the fun disappear? Because I mean, we all have a friend, he who will be remain nameless, is getting so hyped up about winning that he's not having fun with just fighting robots. Like
Mhm.
I'm just a mid builder, building a mid robot, having a mid record. We all know who that is, but it's at what point does it become okay? I'm not even having fun anymore because all I'm trying to do is win the next event. I got to get a dumpster, or my name isn't the next Jameson Go, and it's like to me personally, I have the enjoyment of bringing a robot, seeing how it failed, making the changes to see if that failure doesn't happen again. That's what keeps me going, or trying something so wacky that, oh, that shouldn't work. And then it does work. And then now I've influenced others to try it as well. Like, I've had people message me, hey, can you tell me about the robot? Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about that? I'm an open book, so I will answer any and all questions that anyone asks me. And I like the idea that someone will take something similar to mine and they'll iterate it on it to make it kind of their own. To me, that's what's fun. That's what excites me, seeing other people kind of take the foundation and make it better. I want to see someone take what the starting blocks of what I gave them. I want to see them beat me because then it's like, okay, now I got to try to beat them because I hold a grudge against this person. But yeah, no, that's what makes it fun.
Well, they
So
also say imitation is the greatest form of
mm,
flattery, right?
Yes.
So, and from day one, I always kind of got people going, hey, wait a second. You've seen the weapons that people go in with, correct? Why are you bringing this little ant weapon? Are you deranged? You know,
it's
and
Deranged
Corey's
is not,
robot.
yeah, deranged is not here.
yeah, thankfully, maybe next week. But no, so and it worked out and being able to work off that, and it was also kind of fun because a couple of the people who said that to my face that like this is not going to work after it did work or worked enough, they like you're onto something there. you know so that's also kind of a way that I avoid burnout too, is like uh turn a doubter to a dancer, so to speak.
One thing that really, and this is something that shouldn't benefit me, but does, I'm able to go to a very limited number of events. I only attend a couple events a year, or I only compete in a couple events a year. I try to be there all the time. But because I can only compete a couple times a year, I think that also kind of inflates the enjoyment that I have from combat robotics. It's the kind of thing that I can look forward to. It's the kind of thing I can enjoy. And it's the kind of thing that I can um because there's so much buildup. Even if things don't go my way, I'm already so excited about robots and being there that I can just kind of put that aside, have a good time. And I think one of the best things in anything that you enjoy that you can do to have more fun is put it down for a little while. Um, you know, if you enjoy cooking, go order fast food for a couple nights, then go cook yourself a meal again. You'll probably find it's a lot more fun than it was before. And I think taking time to kind of separate yourself from something will make you even more excited about it. Don't go too
Yeah,
much. Don't go years and years and years, because then you're not going to do it again. But
yeah.
There's
I
also a point of where you can go too far.
mhm.
When I was doing the LARPing stuff, um, there's a huge overlap between what we'll call real life and the fantasy life. And where you're making costumes, you're doing all this, you're investing real dollars into a fantasy world. And then some people got because you would also change your name. You would have a persona. And then some people would only want to be referred to as that persona. And that was like too much of escapism. You know what I mean? So I think that while not necessarily a thing in combat robotics where I think somebody's gonna think that they're a robot, and jump into the ring, there is also a point of going too far and ignoring the things around you like family.
Yeah,
I've heard.
I feel like you guys are painting my picture because going into this year, they moved events to basically every 4 weeks, and I like to compete as much as I can. However, going every 4 weeks, I went to February NHRL, then I went to Moto, then I went to March, and there were so many events all at once, and I could unintentionally feel the burnout. It took a situation in my personal life to kind of say, okay, slow down, look at the things around you. You can miss one event and it will be okay. Um, so I'm not going to April, but however, skipping that event and being able to focus on the things in my life currently now, it sparked the okay. I'm not feeling the burn. I mean, I'm giving myself a month. That's not a lot, but it is at the same time because it's getting me excited for May because it's re-sparking. It's giving me that little time off. But no, I wholeheartedly agree. I initially never understood. You need to give yourself some time away from the sport or whatever you're doing because by going all the time, it kind of makes it okay. I was getting to the point, okay, I got to have my robot done in 4 weeks. It wasn't even excited to fight my robot in 4 weeks. It's okay. What do I need to get done in 4 weeks? And it just, you want to have the mindset, I'm excited to fight these robots, or I'm excited to go to the next LARPing event, or I'm excited for that next chess match or something to that effect. And it was becoming not that excitement, but yeah, no, you definitely want to not get to that point and have fun.
Yeah, I hear many stories, and I've been hearing these stories from a variety of different people who have done combat robotics at any point in their life. But especially people who do it when they're young. Is a lot of people start with combat robotics and they think, wow, I'm enjoying this. I love this. I want to make a career around something like this. So they go into engineering or maybe a trade or something like that. I know multiple people who did that. And I know people who, robotics helped them find their passion, helped them find their career. It helped me find mine or what I'm planning on going into. But also, there are also people that I know, multiple of them, who did that. And this also happens very frequently with music, and realize that once you start kind of putting that in your day-to-day life, once that is what you do, you don't enjoy it anymore. And so I think that kind of ties into what you were saying, Corey, is that, if you're doing it so much that it's getting to a point where it's stressful, or it's getting to a point where it's more of a job than a job or a task over an actual hobby, that's when you can kind of start thinking about maybe stepping back, maybe taking some time off, or even just getting less serious about it. Build a fun robot, build something goofy. Um, it's a
Honestly,
great,
I say just take five, watch an event,
yeah.
and kick back and see what it's like.
I
And
And
by
feel
the way, taking a break from an event does not mean you don't go to the event. It just means you're not competing. Going
yeah.
to an event and chilling and watching fights is one of the most fun things you can do.
I feel like another kind of someone else that comes to mind is Jameson Go. I feel like he's made such a big name in the sport to where people always see Jameson Go of Psycho, Jameson Go of Megatron, Sawblaze, Silent Spring, but people don't see Jameson Go, the guy, Jameson Go, the engineer, Jameson Go, the guy who likes to go ride scooters or something. They only see him as the competitor, and I think that's where he made this persona, but I think he wants to be known more than just Jameson go of whatever robot because JMO's an awesome person. I message him from time to time, not just to talk about robots, but in general. And I think after all of this, like Mike was saying, that people in the LARPing community, they may get to the point where they only want to be known by their LARPing name. And it's like, you need to separate your hobby or your passion from your actual identity because it's like, you need to be able to know when, okay, enough is enough.
For sure.
Yeah, that's, I would say that plays definitely more into like the on TV presence because or screen being because there's a lot of filters that we have to use. We have to use proper words and oh by the way, we're house sitting two cats for a friend. So this is Cole. So she's kicking around. Hey baby. Um, but yeah, because even on servers, maybe they're just like you have to use so many filters. Then, like I know with like you guys, especially when we're not recording, I might say some stuff that isn't necessarily like suitable for everyone's ears. But because you guys get it that it's a joke.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a
So
joke.
yes.
I didn't know that. Wait, so when you said you hated me, you don't actually hate me?
No, I don't.
Whoa.
You're pretty cool, dude. I'm just jealous of your hair.
My hair is not that great.
No, it's Julian Papazian
Yeah,
has
right?
the flowing
Yes.
locks.
Oh, Adam Wrigley has to get second place.
Yeah, well, maybe is he? I don't know. He's always got it up in the bun.
Have you seen it down?
I think in one episode of
I
BattleBots he took
Yes.
it down.
yeah, I can't say that I have.
Yeah, I'll say that just in and things like this, conversations like this, just goofing off in combat robotics as well. I mentioned we have fun in the hotel room. We also have fun at events. I distinctly remember being at Mass Destruction this past August, and I was hanging out with Corey that day, and we were kind of as a collective pandemonium. We went out to grab some lunch, and it was just a good time. We weren't necessarily talking about robots. We were just hanging out, having fun, and completely annoying the people running the restaurant that just had 20 people all come in and order takeout immediately.
I think the biggest thing though right now is we're painting it that outside of robots it's fun and not the robot aspect is fun.
Yeah,
I have
Well,
fun. I have fun fighting my robots.
yeah.
absolutely.
So at Boxelmania, right, is one of the first events that I got Stag's weapon working correctly. So the motor and everything was kicking in. It was going like 100% and stuff like that. And I burned out one of the pulleys on it. And then the motor just get making this high pitched wee sound. And it took, I didn't realize somebody had to point out to me it was me. I shut it off. I went back into the pits and there was like Jameson Go was the first person there. He goes, Mike, we heard your motor all the way back here. And it's a pretty big building. I mean, I know you guys know. I mean, people that haven't been there won't know. But that was a pretty funny point, I guess, in combat robotics for me. Uh,
And
But,
then
but here's the thing.
you also got to find out what happens if you take your forks off.
oh geez.
You
I
didn't
hit the
realize the forks actually took up space in
well,
your chassis.
what jeez. Not only that, but I didn't secure it in the front plate good enough or something. And when the forks weren't there and I hit the wall, I ejected my whole face plate. Stag threw up his face.
Yeah, I'll say that like, a lot of us will go into a fight that we know that we're outmatched in, or maybe we don't know what's going to happen. It's 50-50. And I know some people get worked up about that, and it almost takes away from the experience and the idea that this is a hobby. So, kind of a philosophy that I always like to go into it with is if something goes boom, I have fun. And like, if you can kind of approach your own fight from a third perspective of just watching the fight and enjoying the fight, that really helps because it kind of takes some of the edge off the fact that your $1,200 robot's getting gutted right in front of your eyes. And so if you have, I think if you have kind of that almost overhead perspective of, yeah, you're fighting, you're competing, you're trying to win, but also you're watching the fight too. And
Yeah.
if something if my robot explodes, it's still kind of cool to see a robot explode. And I think if people take kind of that perspective into it, it'll definitely help make things a little more fun. Don't go exploding your robots on purpose, though.
Every match I go into, I got this. I tend to lose terribly, or I
Yeah.
lose in such a way that I wouldn't even predict it. It's the matches where I'm like, all right, I'm definitely losing to this match. Those are ones that I've evidently built up this persona where when my back is against the wall, that's when I fight the best. Like
Yeah.
when I fought against Booty Brigade, my back was definitely against the wall. I think I was behind the wall at this point. Or when I was fighting Emulsifier, I thought there was very little chance to actually win, so my back was against the wall. And then when it's like I said, when I got this, stupid things happen. Like when I was fighting a beater bar with one of my other robots that their robot could barely drive. I hit them and it sucked in their wheel guard, and I ended up getting stuck upside down with the wheel guard in my weapon, and I was counted out. So I try to go into every match. I'm losing this, regardless what it is. I'm losing this because then I'm hoping I can recreate that in my mind. But yeah, I definitely thought one of the fun matches that I saw Mike fight was against um Titanium White. It was a fun one because it wasn't like Mike's gonna get destroyed, so it allowed Mike to be able to drive. It was a nice back and forth pushing match. It showed Mike chopping into him a little bit, so I enjoyed watching that match.
Yeah, I think that's not a style of match that many people enjoy. Maybe more of the driving, you know, uh who like more tactical matches, I guess.
Because what I'm
But
finding is I think the matches where it shows your ability to drive are a lot more fun because yeah, destruction is cool, but I don't like matches where it's like, oh, he hit him and the robot blew up. Yeah, it's cool for destruction, but I want to see a match. I want to see 3 minutes of each other punching. You're punching each other in the face. That's what I want to see. Not literally drivers punching each
Yeah.
other in the face, but
yeah,
Unless I
like
fight Mike, in which
yeah, there
case,
we go.
I saw
Oh,
Yippee. Yippee was fighting Backlash Wave, and literally they were punching each other in the face for like 3 minutes or something to that effect. It was a fun match.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of who I just saw in last match. I think it was a 3 pounder where they just kept turning and turning on each other. I want to say it was Impact and somebody,
Mm.
not Mako, because that was pretty one-sided.
And then I want to say it was Comet versus Ooga Booga. So it was a two-wheel beater bar versus a four-wheel drive single disc bird, and like it was literally like Ooga Booga just knocked Comet upside down. Then Ooga Booga lost one side of drive. So it kept going back and forth for 3 minutes, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Or Emulsifier versus Ares. That was another fun one. Like there was destruction, but literally like you don't give up even if your weapon goes down, and Ares took it even with a weapon down because Emulsifier lost one side of drive. Just
Yeah.
those are the fun matches to watch, in my eyes, anyways.
Yeah, for sure. And the crowd loves those kinds of matches where the underdog wins or where it's back and forth and back and forth and maybe you don't know who won. It's really a good experience.
For sure.
Um, I yeah, unless you guys have anything to say, we can sign off. Keep it fun. We are
Yeah.
smashing each other's toys after all, and yeah, there is a monetary thing, but I think when you get so focused on, I got to win that money, I got to win that trophy, it starts to become more about winning rather than having fun. And
For sure.
I like, I mean, because I know my design hasn't hit its full potential yet. I just know it hasn't. So unlocking that and like being like, oh, what am I gonna, because I'm not online a lot. I'm not in Discord. I'm not. So it's like when I bring something in, it's like I know there's a very small section of people who know what's going on, but there's a larger section that doesn't, and I feel like that's a surprise to them, and that kind of, you know, makes me smile a little bit.
like, I think at the next event, when you have Stag and they start seeing Stag roofing things, and they're like, wait a sec, Stag looks the same, but now Stag is throwing people 4 or 5 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Or
Then it
chewing
will,
through them.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Oh, there goes the battery ripped out of the robot.
Your robot is now in four pieces. I'm sorry. But that's, just goals to look forward to and achieve. That's another
Yeah.
good way to and keep your goals reasonable.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't keep it too serious.
yeah, nobody wins the dumpster first time out.
Yeah.
They win it the
Very
second
few
time.
people win the dumpster first time out. There's been a couple exceptions.
I
Oh,
don't actually think there is. I can't recall any robot that it was built. This is their first event and they won a dumpster.
Besides new bots. But that's
Well,
kind of a
yeah,
different thing.
well, because they're all new, so
Yeah.
this is all their first showing. But any regular event that a singular robot has ever gone to, the first time ever, and I'm not talking like it's an iteration
Yeah.
of a previous robot. I'm talking like this is the first robot of its that I built of this style.
yeah,
This is their first event. I can't think of any robot that has not had teething issues that has gone to an event, won the
Absolutely.
dumpster first try. But
yeah,
even then, like we're saying, that shouldn't be the first. I mean, if
yeah.
that's cool if that's your idea, but I think having fun should be
Yeah.
number one. But I don't
I
want to
mean,
put words in anyone's mouth.
my
I
new
mean,
robot's gonna go and win a dumpster first try. But
It
besides
will.
that, yeah, for sure.
have fun and pass safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of people that don't actually pass safety first try is
Mm.
make sure the robot's built before, like, don't wait till Friday night, Saturday morning to be putting Synthesis 30 together for the event.
Yeah, Corey.
Definitely not guilty of that.
No,
Yeah,
he's actually in the dining room right now. He's ready to go for May.
yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank you
all for
guys.
watching.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
Word
absolutely.
nerds.
To then,
Word.
we'll